Hello and welcome to another day on Cornwall Pocket Farm, where I try and figure out how to live sustainably on 300 square metres in the city. Today I'm bringing you along for a job that I have been meaning to do for a few days now. I need to take the marquee down. It's been there protecting my tomatoes all through summer. It's done a wonderful job. We've had a marvellous tomato harvest this year. I mean, lots and lots of really delicious tomatoes. I've made masses of pasta sauce in the freezer now. I've got lots of tomato relish, lots of lovely tomato produce, and we've been having fresh tomatoes obviously all the way through the season. And I leave it up until this point because I'm still getting tomatoes out of them. They're quite small now, but it is still producing tomatoes, well, ripening off. The plants are pretty much dead at this point. But I like to eke it out as long as I possibly can because I only eat my own tomatoes. Anybody who grows their own tomatoes will understand the flavour and the taste difference between tomatoes that you grow yourself and those poor excuses for tomatoes that you can buy in the supermarkets. And especially those out-of-season tomatoes. Out-of-season tomatoes are, well, very expensive on your pocket, but they're also very expensive on the environment because, of course, they're grown in greenhouses, and our greenhouses are heated using coal, fossil fuels. So there's also the pesticides and, the whole lot. Really bad for the environment. So for those two reasons, I don't eat out-of-season tomatoes. It's expensive to me for my pocket, it's expensive for the environment, and they taste rubbish. So these tomatoes that I'm harvesting now will be the last ones that I have this year until I get my early tomatoes next year, which will be in about November. So we generally manage to have fresh tomatoes for about 6 months of the year, and then the other 6 months of the year we move on to different produce from the garden. At the moment I'm really looking forward to my first brassicas because brassicas don't grow very well in our summer because it's quite humid and hot. Brassicas don't grow very well, so we haven't had brassicas through the summer, and I like them. So looking forward to those. And again, I've got some mange tout on the go. I do like a mange tout, and they don't grow in the middle of summer, of course. It's now when they start to produce. Broad beans, yum. Don't get me started, but there's lots. I really enjoy the seasonality of the garden because you sort of have to wait for something that you're really looking forward to the taste of it, and then you have it and it's so delicious. I think we sort of lose something in our modern society where we can have anything we want at any time. I think that appreciation of that fresh produce when it first arrives, such an amazing taste and experience, and it's quite exciting waiting for it. Well, it is for me anyway. So I thought what I'd do is bring you along. First of all, I need to show you the sorry state that the bed is in at the moment. The tomatoes are looking absolutely tragic. There are actually some other things in that bed already because what I do is I plant things underneath the tomatoes so that when the tomatoes get higher and you sort of clear off all the stalks further down, as they get taller and taller, I can grow other things underneath. Then when my tomatoes come out, those crops are already there and well advanced. So I've got carrots and leeks and chard and things like that underneath that now has sort of picked up, and when I take the marquee down, those veg will sort of really have the space, if you like. Well, saying that, the tomatoes are pretty much dead anyway, so they've already got the space, but I shall bring the marquee down and then we will be properly into winter. This is sort of like it's that moment where I think, okay, summer's finished, we've got daylight saving this coming weekend in a few days' time, so really we're into that sort of the other side of the year, if you like. So definitely needs doing. It's due to rain for the next couple of days and I want to get it down while it's dry so I can pack it away. So for all of those reasons, we have to get out there now and get that marquee down. So anyway, come on and I'll show you the sorry state that it's in at the moment. So this is the sad state of my marquee. Oh my God. I mean, we do have some brassicas that are going for it now. We've got some chard and some beans that are going mad. These are actually a self-seeded gigantes bean, and just sort of kicked off. It's got heaps of beans on it. Look down there, masses and masses of beans all coming along here, which is really good. I've got a blown lettuce, I've got chard, I've got carrots and leeks and all sorts, but yeah, that's looking pretty sad, isn't it? Pretty sad. I've also got some broken poles that have come down. So that was I got those poles, I don't know if you can see them, Difficult to spot, isn't it? Yeah, hang on. Let me try and get in there. These poles were actually off the side of the road. It was the neighbour's old sort of play tent for the kids, and I've been using them as rails to hang my string along, these rails here. But they are, yeah, snapped. As you can see there, they've snapped and broken, and I've sort of held a bit together, but yeah, time to come down. There are a few tomatoes in there that I shall rescue. Last tomatoes before I pull it out, but it really is time, I think. Yup, let's get on with the job. I don't know if you can see, but there are still a number of tomatoes on here that haven't ripened yet. I'm going to take these into the conservatory and see if I can ripen them up, because I don't want to waste any tomatoes. These tent pegs have worked brilliantly this year. I basically have had problems with the string rotting off in the ground. So I put these tent pegs in and I attached the string to the tent pegs. They've been absolutely brilliant. I got them from a second-hand shop and they have worked a treat. I don't quite know what to do with this gigantes bean that's doing really well. I'm wondering whether I should, it's growing up a tomato. I'm wondering whether I should put a pole in and then I can sort of maybe reattach it to the pole rather than having it on the tomato, because obviously the tomato is held up with the marquee. If I take the marquee down, so there are Velcro hoops that hook it onto the frame at each corner post, and then there are hooks that sink into the ground all the way around the outside as well. And then there's Velcro pads which actually attach it as well. So I've got to get the hooks out now. Oh, that's all the green pegs out of the ground. Now there are some very large metal stakes on each corner. It may seem a lot, but this thing's been through Cyclone Gabrielle and stayed put. So I like to make sure it's not going to blow away. Okay. Now try and get the cover off. The other thing is to persuade all the wildlife that's living up in the corners that it doesn't want to be there and it would rather be on a plant. Easier with two people, more like four actually, but can be done by one person. This is the next day now. The sun is out now, but it did rain overnight, so I'm pleased I got the marquee down. As you can see, there's lots of stuff growing. Oh, there's my shadow, excuse me. And lots of weeds. I'm sure you can see lots of weeds. The bean I have strung up a pole, which looks a bit straggly but is still alive, so hopefully it'll continue on. I really need to get in here now and tidy up some of those weeds and just sort of rationalize it. Oh, there's a really big weed over there, isn't there? Look at that thing there. I don't know if you can see it. That. Ooh. Shameful, but you really can't see all this stuff, and I generally leave it alone when it's in the marquee, but I definitely think a bit of a tidy up, and I'll need to plant some more stuff in here as well. There's some room for some more brassicas, I think. So yeah, that's the next job, but it won't be today. It's also quite strange now to be able to see the gatehouse through across the garden, because of course when that went up the marquee was already in place, and the key thing that's identified to me is I need to get more plants in. I need a climber over that archway, don't I? That's Arc de Triomphe, and it definitely needs some more vegetation. What I'll probably do actually is put that clematis, one of those clematis that I got from on sale from Mitre 10, I might put one of those in there. That's an idea. Anyway, I will say goodbye now and see you next week. It'll probably be another sewing video, I think, next week. The Julie is nearing completion, although it has been an absolute pest, I have to say. So watch out for that video. See you later. Bye.